I do believe that it's most Brazilians here, but we will do this one in English with Leo. I'm happy to introduce Leo. He's from CrossFi. They're building something pretty cool to bridge TradFi and DeFi, and we can take a lot of learnings from that, because in Brazil we are discussing about having a tokenized economy, right? So we are still learning how to do this, how interoperability is going to work. So if you can teach something about that to us and let us know how you guys are building that, we would be thrilled to learn more.
Sure thing, Antonio. We already built it, by the way. So it's not building,
amazing.
we built it. It's live, and I'll show you a demo as well today. So
amazing.
Yeah, and we're registered here in Brazil. So we are part of a Brazilian economy and the Brazilian company. So
oh, that's cool.
So we're local.
I even got some goosebumps. I didn't know that. That's cool.
There you go. Cool. How's everyone doing, guys? Had a good lunch? Everything? Yeah? Have energy? You're good? Coffee, food, everything good to go? Yeah? That's good to know. Any English speakers or mostly our Portuguese speakers? Okay, I will talk a little slow or maybe a little fast depending on time. My time is limited. So my apologies for talking a little fast because these guys will throw me off stage. All right? Okay, cool. I'm Leo from San Francisco, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at CrossFi, which is basically a DeFi company. We are a layer 1 protocol, and you guys are probably like, oh my God, another layer 1. But it's a little bit of a quite intriguing and different network. So if you just bear with me, I will explain to you why this is important and what were the gaps and the holes that we actually looked at into the industry, and we said, no one is doing this. Why isn't anyone doing this? A, it's super hard. Very difficult, super expensive. So we wanted to bring a product to the local masses, vis-a-vis everyone here, who could actually use a simple card and pay for everything in crypto that you have, right? So basically take your crypto, convert it into fiat, and pay for goods like coffee, Uber rides, whatever. We just had lunch, by the way, this team. I have a great video demo that I recorded, and happy to share with you guys, airdrop it and send it to you guys. That would be amazing. We just went across the street here, had lunch, me and my teammate Fedor, and we just paid from our card, so that was phenomenal. So what are we trying to do? There's a couple of things. We all know finance, the world of finance, traditional banking, dated, it's been around for thousands of years. You guys know this, right? You know the story, so I'm not gonna get into that. Then you come into the world of finance. Like finance is stock market, brokerages, exchanges, and all of that. And then that turned into a term known as traditional finance. It's like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I work for fintech. I work for fintech is like a tech, tech fintech. And then traditional finance. Which the term now has been branded into TradFi. I don't know if I'm a fan of the word TradFi, but more and more people are talking about that this is TradFi. But DeFi changed the world as we know it. So that's, that's decentralized finance. So now the challenge is, how do you bridge the gap between TradFi, traditional finance, and decentralized finance? That's where CrossFi comes in. That's basically our story, what we built. So if you look at the current landscape today, unfortunately, I mean, even part of the G20, you guys probably see the cars going around, all the politicians are here and so forth. No one cares about crypto. They don't care, right? Maybe a bunch of few folks out there, but mostly governments are scared of crypto. But if you look at the list on the top, that's the perfect economic model, right? Where they say you've got countries like Venezuela. By the way, we have the guy here. His name is Fedor. He's right here with the team. He's an executive who created the El Petro. This is the guy. This is the creator. So you want to grab him afterwards and say hi and take a picture. So he's some sort of a celebrity. He's with the president and everything. So that's the guy who created it. And then you got Argentina, Turkey, Zimbabwe, right, and Lebanon and Brazil. And you know the situation, right? So Argentina's next door. You guys know the situation and what's really happening in that country. Currency's basically gone to zero. So what do? They don't rely on anything else. Getting fiat, like physical US dollar, is very hard. And I think US dollar, in my opinion, It's probably the biggest shitcoin out there, because there's no caps. There's no caps. You can print whatever you want and just basically put it out there. Yes, it is a global currency at this point, but how long? How long can it stay there? Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, he's on the record. They're buying Bitcoin like anything. So for these countries, hyperinflation, instability, changes in politics and whatnot. You guys here in Brazil went through like decades of dictatorship and army and whatnot. It's a process. Like countries go through this. Then what do? Inflation happened and so forth. So now, back then there was no cryptocurrencies to do that. No something like a Bitcoin or Ethereum. Today we do. So it's permissionless, right? It's less volatile. It's very secure. People put a trust into it. Why do you do a barter system? Back in the day, there used to be a barter system. Hey, I'll give you a cow, and you give me X amount of rice bags or something, and that was it. That was the trade, right? Traditional finance. That is a barter system. So people put a trust in that. There was no currencies involved. So now people put trust in Bitcoin, right? And other cryptocurrencies. So that's kind of like what we're changing. So what does the CrossFi chain really looks like? We were talking about this morning, I was talking about interoperability, which kind of is like the latest buzzword, but we kind of like live by it. We do have an EVM, which is it makes it much more easier for you to communicate with oracles, makes it much more easier for you to communicate with other chains, and basically port any projects that you have on the Ethereum network and so forth. So it's very developer focused, it's very eco-friendly, super light, fast to build scalable products and tools on top of it. So that's kind of like what we think about in terms of cross-chain, built on the Cosmos network, just FYI. So it's modular. This is also a talk today. Like people are talking about, oh, are you modular? Are you not? Are you like a monolithic chain? Do I just like build on you and that's it and set it and forget it? So we wanted to make it much more easier for everyone, right? So where you have verification of different types of blocks, there's new coin emissions, it's consensus, it's a production, and again, the key word and the superpower is interoperability. That's why we're here. That's why we're preaching. That's why we're talking. And making sure that this project is successful in terms of everyone has their hands on it and play with it, like play with the architecture, like stretch the networks. You guys are developers, and say this was BS or not, right? So we're here to basically prove the model. 5-second block time, super fast. You can do super fast transactions on it. There's unlimited scaling opportunities. When I say that, I absolutely mean by that, and the throughput is like super high as well. So those are some of our chain features. Just keeping it very simple. We're not here to like brag or boast or anything like that. I will do a quick demo for you guys and show you basically how these features work just in a bit. So we'll do a bit of a live demo as well. So why is our mission so important? Our mission is important because what we want to do is we want to put crypto in hands of everyday users, everybody sitting here. Show of hands who has either a MetaMask wallet or Trust wallet or any type of crypto wallet. Everybody has it, right? Now, can you just take that MetaMask wallet, go to the store next door right here or this vendor and just say, hey, take my MetaMask and scan the QR code and you pay for your meals or whatever? No, you can't. A lot of people are shaking their heads. They're like, I can't. That's the challenge that we're trying to solve. So this is exactly here in my hands. This is the card backed by Visa. It has a Visa logo on it. You can tap to pay, just like a simple card. And all I do is literally we went here, we ate lunch. And in local currency, in Brazilian reals, we just basically ate whatever we wanted, and we just tapped it, and then boom, it's done. So the beauty of this card is minimum level of KYC required by Visa, but we basically cut the middleman. So there's no banks involved. There is no bank. So you don't have to connect your bank account to go and pay for goods. And the best thing is the fees. Like literally today is nothing. The other guys, whether it's Coinbase or somebody else, they charge anywhere from 9 to 15% in fees. Let that sink in. I'll say that again. Anywhere from 9 to 15%. That's what you're paying from your crypto wallet to those guys to basically use this. So it's stupid. That's why people don't use it. They're like, why would I use it? It's so expensive. I'm just going to use my traditional card, American Express or regular Visa, Chase card. I mean, I'm from the States, so I basically know those cards. I don't know the local Brazilian cards, but I'm sure you have like all these different airline cards and stuff like that to get mileage and whatnot. So that's why people use those cards, because they don't want to pay fees. Merchants, on the other hand, hate Visa, MasterCard, American Express. They hate them. I'll tell you why they hate them. Because on the merchant side, by the way, I used to work for PayPal, so launching crypto in PayPal was also exciting. But so they charge fees. They charge anywhere from 3 to 5%. So Visa, MasterCard charge 3% to merchants, to businesses. These local businesses that you support, right? That poor guy is selling you a burger. 5%, there you go. In Brazil, it's 5%. So they charge you 5%. It's kind of like a credit card cartel, what I call. They just decide. They're like, hey, this is the fee. You pay 5%. You want to do business with me or not? And then you're kind of like, you lose business because no one's carrying cash anymore. It's a cashless society. That's just what it is. We used to carry coins in our pocket, right? I don't even know last time I saw a coin or I gave a quarter to somebody. The coins are done. So cash, I don't even carry cash anymore. So we're becoming a cashless society, and then currency is becoming digital. So what I say is money is becoming software. Money is software. Let that sink in for a while. Money is software. So that's what it is. So we basically are enabling software, and we're make sure that it has virality. So everyone is using it, and then you basically put it to your daily lives and use it for your benefit. So that's basically what our mission is. This is kind of like what a flowchart is for anyone who wants to geek out. I probably could take like 20, 30 minutes just to talk on this slide, but it's for you guys. Take screenshots. This is also on our website. And let me know if you have any questions. But people kind of like ask, they're like, oh, what does the ecosystem really looks like? I'm very interested. You have XFi, USD, MPX. MPX is, by the way, our token, and XFi is also our token. So you pay everything in XFi. So I will not get too much into this, but yes, there's staking, there's bridge, non-custodial, right? You have the CrossFi app, crypto. It's a bit complicated to kind of like build this kind of a network, which is, again, super scalable. But you kind of like get it in a nutshell. Any of you developers out here, builders out here who understands the world of DeFi, this is kind of like a cool slide for you guys, and we can geek out on it. But for the rest of the audience, I'll try to keep it like a little high level here. So that's that slide. So that's the app. This is not something that will come out in the future. 2 months from now, 3 months from now, and we're promising you something that will never happen or something. This is live today. Actually, I have the app today. So we have the app, and here's the card. Again, I'll just kind of like a shameless plug, right? You're always like preaching your card, but the card is here. But you don't need the physical card. So who carries physical cards, right? Nobody. Because you just do it from your either Android Pay or Apple Pay or whatever you use it. So we have virtual cards. You don't need this. This is just for demo purposes today, because people are like, oh, do you have a card? Like Visa? Yeah, we have a Visa card, logo on it, and numbers on it, and everything, and chip, and the entire whole 9 yards. But basically, just use your phone. You don't even need to carry this. You have a simple terminal that basically any merchant is taking this, right? It has a SIM card in it. It has internet connectivity, connects to the internet, does your transaction, all happens wirelessly. Your simple tap to pay, right? The tap to pay thing. So that's the way to do it. So yeah, so you pay for all of the goods in XFi. You can perform transactions, connect any wallets that you have. MetaMask today, you can absolutely do it, and then pay for goods. Very super simple. That's the card. That's the CEO's name, by the way, Alexander. So we are simultaneously juggling events. So we just did a huge launch in Vietnam. I don't know if there were like a couple of thousand people over there. We did a huge launch. We have a huge community in Vietnam. We were there for like entire 1 week, basically going around the country and so forth. And I'm off to Vietnam after this. So it's a bit of a roadshow for us. Like we're going and preaching and telling people about our launch. So in testnet phase today. The testnet will be for about another 2 more months, and then we basically hit the mainnet. So yeah, the process is super simple. Like I said, open an XFi account. It's available today. You connect your MetaMask, available today, and hold your smart card contract on it, and it's 100% in your control. We don't do anything. You know, we don't get into your information or any of that stuff. And then you purchase by card. So it's simple. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's super simple. Any of the naysayers, or you're saying, yeah, looks nice. I don't know if this could be doable. You know, it's believable or not. Guys, I challenge you. Let's go for a coffee. I'll pay for it. Trust me. And we'll use the same card right here, and we'll go to the merchant right outside next door, and I'll pay for your coffee, and I'll show you how the network is. You know, it works so fast. So it's super awesome. So again, this has never been done before. So that's what we're doing. We are bridging the gap between traditional finance, like these terminals, you swipe cards, you know, this is what I call traditional, and then bringing a non-custodial solution to basically the DeFi and stuff. That's basically what CrossFi is doing. So how to find us? Scan us. Scan this code. We are basically, get your phones up, guys. Just help me, do me a solid. Scan us. We are on Discord, LinkedIn, we are on TikTok, X, Facebook, pretty much everywhere. You can't miss us. Just scan the code, whatever you want, you can find us. So that's CrossFi. With that, I do have some time, and I'd love to open it up for Q&A. Can we get a mic here, please, for Q&A? Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Leo, for the presentation. My name is Vinicius. Could you walk us through how the currency is actually converted? So let's say from a token I have in my MetaMask to Brazilian reais that the person is going to receive?
Yeah, it's called automagically. That's kind of like what we're working on. But today, the idea is to use our token, XFi token. So you basically convert it from your MetaMask from ETH into XFi, and then you have it in the app. And then when you pay from the XFi token, it's automatically converting into the real. So the person receives it in real, but you're using the XFi token today because we're in testnet. In the future, you'll have the ability to do multi-cryptocurrencies, like whatever you want to pick. You can just basically pick and choose. So that's kind of like what we're doing. We're talking to a lot of different vendors. XRP is here, so we're talking to those guys as well. So how you can add and more currencies to the app, and then you can just basically decide like which one is going to be my default one. So, yeah. Good question. Yeah, that's a great question. Couple of questions.
So thank you so much. It's like fascinating what you guys are doing. The product you've made is unbelievable. I think like unthinkable. So my question to you is, how did your time at PayPal change your view about money? So like PayPal is still like a traditional finance company. Maybe not so traditional when it came out, but today they're like traditional. How did your time there influence your vision for like how cryptocurrency can be present in the lives of people? Like you said earlier that like people don't really care how this stuff works behind the scenes, they just want it to work. So like how did your time at PayPal like get you to that point?
I think that's one of the best questions I've ever heard. Yeah, so PayPal did start as a disruptor. When Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, they went about and built PayPal. That's where I'm from, actually. I'm from Cupertino, which is maybe 15 minutes away from San Jose. They were disrupting the market, right? They're like, screw this, screw traditional finance. We're going to go build something very cool, and people will be able to do like peer-to-peer payments. Peer-to-peer payments did not exist. What the peer-to-peer payment was, let me give you cash. Let me write you a check. Let me do a bank money transfer, ACH, right? All these things, these are dated. It takes about 10 business days for the money to clear in the back end. So I call it cash velocity. So if you're like a CFO, which is here, by the way, of CrossFinance, you need cash velocity. You need cash in the bank to actually pay for services and credit and so forth. It's called cash velocity. Regulation is what happened to PayPal. Once you go public, right, there are certain rules and regulations that you need to follow. So they got into the business of doing business and the bad habits of what businesses do. You got SEC, you got New York Stock Exchange, you got all these different regulations and bodies which says, oh, these are securities, these are assets, and this is what you're doing. Now you have to play by these rules. You have to do all these KYCs. You have to do this, blah 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 blah. So that's what really changed them from a fintech company. They're technically a fintech company, right? They're not traditional finance, but now they're moving towards traditional finance. They have a savings account, they have a checking account, they give you, they do your credit scores, they give you loans, they do pretty much everything. It's turning into a super financial app. And they're also doing crypto, by the way. So crypto on the back end, they're using like Paxos, and it's they're custodial as somebody else, right? They're not really doing it. So it's kind of like a watered down version of that. But what I realized, and I come from not just super traditional Web 2 companies. Like I did Near Protocol. I was one of the first 6-7 people in that company when we started, and I've been coming from like cutting edge tech and so forth. But then I realized. For the masses, like people like our moms and dads and that generation, they don't know what this is, and they're never going to use it. So companies like the Metas, the Googles, the PayPals, they hold the keys to the kingdom. So they have the billions of users. PayPal has 500 million users. So if you want crypto instantly, both in Venmo and PayPal, in hands of 500 million users, you got to go through PayPal. You got to go through those companies. So, but the mass adoption is good. We need mass adoption, and these guys bring mass adoption to the table. But then again, it's to answer your question. Yes, it is a super centralized institution. There will never be DeFi. Forget about it. It's just too big of a company, right? Too big to fail. That's what they say. So then that's what I realized. I said, you know what? I can keep on doing this. I can keep on pushing the envelope. On this side, they build great products. Nothing wrong with it. But they're not really our kind of like an audience and user, right? You would never go to a PayPal conference and be like, oh, tell me more about your cool product. It just doesn't happen. So the answer is CrossFi. So you have to keep on evolving and keep on pushing the envelope and looking at newer projects and different projects that push this. So this will never happen in a company like PayPal. Connect your MetaMask. They don't even know how to even do it or pull this off. So that's where the innovation happens. Thank you. Great question. A lot of questions today. I like it. Room full of people.
Hi, thank you for your time. I loved your solution with payments in crypto, bringing the credit card, but one of the biggest challenges in crypto is like the UX and the adoption. How do you see the adoption of your product? And I had a question about the fees. I didn't really understand what are the fees that are charged.
Yeah. So let me get into the fees. The fees are two types of fees. One is that the issuer charges the merchant, like for example, Visa. Okay. Visa will charge the merchant, who is the store. Yes. They charge 5%.
The MDR fee, yeah?
Yeah, so that's the fee that the merchant is paying. You might pay them 10 reals, but then they're charging 5% of 10 reals to the merchant. They can't get away from that. Then you end up paying fees as well. If you use a consumer card like a Coinbase or something else, 9 to 15% depending on the region, like whatever that is. So the fees are coming out of your wallet. So the merchant is paying a different fee to Visa or MasterCard or Amex, and then you're paying from your wallet the fees for them to do the whole process and whatnot. So those were the fees. In terms of adoption, we are a new project. We've been around for 2-3 years. We built the product. We launched the product. Today we are in testnet. So we're basically now on the pole. We're saying, hey, now we have a product. We built it. We've proven the model. It works. So now we're going towards mass adoption. So and our segment market is basically the unbanked population, which is hundreds of millions of people, especially in Brazil. The unbanked population is somebody who has never owned a bank account. They don't even know what that is. Go talk to people in Mexico, Venezuela, Iran, like they don't have bank accounts. China is the biggest example of this, by the way. So what WeChat has done, they are phenomenal. It's a super app. That phenomenon has never existed anywhere around the world, except maybe in South Korea. They use Kakao, which is kind of like a copycat model of what WeChat is doing. The super app is basically your Uber, your payments, your food delivery, your hotel, your flight tickets, everything in one app. Your messaging, everything there, super app. That's what Elon is trying to do with X.ai. Maybe we'll get there, maybe not. I don't know. So adoption takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So yes, now we are kicking in high gears to do mass adoption. That's why we're here on stage. We're talking about this. There's hundreds of people here who now know about CrossFi, and then hopefully adoption is going to grow. Thank you.
Hello. How does the QIC work there? Like, do you need to do a QIC to use the card?
Sure, great question. KYC. Yes, KYC needs to happen through because of Visa. So Visa requires to do a KYC. We try to do it as much as minimalistic, but we want to be respectful of any of the KYC rules because we're not here to promote stuff like anti-money laundering or fraud or any of that stuff. So that could happen whenever you use somebody like a big network like a Visa, biggest network in the world. So yeah, they make sure that we do KYC. I think there was a question here as well. Yeah, a couple of questions. Great audience.
So I had a question that you partially answered about the fee side. So how does so the merchant is using the Visa network? So the merchant's still paying the Visa fee, like the 3 to 5% Visa fee, like irrespective of whether they're using your card or any other card, they're still paying the same fee if it's on the Visa network, correct?
That is correct. That's why I call them the credit card cartel. Yes, they charge a fee. You cannot escape the fee.
Okay, so there's no way around that at this point.
There's no negotiation
Okay.
with the cartels.
Got it. But I didn't realize that like these other credit card products, these crypto card products, that were charging up to 15% fees. Like, is that real? Like, I have a hard time believing that. I mean, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just like, that just sounds outrageous. Like, why would anybody go to market with a product with like that's uncompetitive?
Surprise, surprise. They all depend on the different region, which region you're using and so forth. But yeah, they charge you fees. So I mean, okay. Wow. So let's just say you swap something, you trade something, and you buy Bitcoin, which you look at the price. I'm not talking about DEX. I'm talking about centralized exchanges. Do you think there's fees for that, or do you think it's free? There are fees. They charge you. It's called spread fees, right? So they charge you on the spread. There's always fees, guys. That's how they make money. That's how That's how their revenue is in billions of dollars. So yes, they do charge fees, a lot of. Yeah, I mean, we can go offline. We can take a look at some of the data, and then I'll send it to you.
It just seems crazy, like a crazy.
It is. I'm with you. I'm scratching my head here too. Listen, I worked in PayPal. You paid fees. we charge you fees. Yeah.
Hello. Who's providing liquidity for your token?
I'd rather not get into that question. So maybe we can take it offline. So because we're recording and everything. So, thank you. But I'm happy to answer your question offline. Yeah.
Hello. So I would like to know, how far do you think the market is, like real people, common people, to use crypto payments? How far are we to having this working?
Yeah, I don't think so we're far enough. I think the only challenge is the common people are stuck with fiat, cash, right? And they don't know what to do with it. And the problem is that they take that money, go to the bank, and deposit that money, but they don't trust the bank. The currency is devaluating, inflation is happening. There are a lot of things that's been going on. So I think the number one problem for them is, how do I take this cash, like physical cash, and convert it into crypto? I think that's the number one problem the common people are facing. So they don't know that. They don't know how to do that. So I think it's incumbent upon us to teach them or provide them with services that, hey, here's a kiosk, or here's this, kind of like MoneyGram and Western Union, like these money transfer services. They have these great offices and stuff, and you can. That's why it's successful. By the way, they charge also a lot of fees. So if you try to send international money over, so it's kind of something like that. Maybe you have in Europe, they have it everywhere. Like for example, in Spain, they had it everywhere. You just go. They also charge fee, by the way. Nothing is free in this world. So they will charge you a fee, but they will convert your fiat into crypto, and they'll tell you, like, just tell us wherever you want to send it, right? They'll do it. So I think we need something like that more and more. Maybe for CrossFi and other companies, which does it, and then that's it. That's where adoption will happen.
So do you believe that when people understand that fiat value is basic on trust, they will change and start adopting more crypto?
I mean, look around you. Where was crypto 5 years ago? There is adoption, right? There's mass adoption. Now everyone is, like the Bitcoin ETF came out. I think that is the biggest mass adoption in the history. That is, in my country, in America, that is the #1 financial product out there. You know, what everyone is basically, money managers are basically selling. It's BTC ETF. Tongue twister, right? BTC ETF, BTC ETF. So that's kind of like what they're looking for to buy that. But why do that? Why buy just an ETF for Bitcoin? Just get the whole actual thing, right? I would do that. I would never do it. So, but there are novice users. There's so many people, old people with a lot of money, and they don't know what the Bitcoin is, and they don't even know where to go. They don't even know how to operate Coinbase. So they just call their money manager. They're like, hey, I heard about this thing called Bitcoin. I want piece of the action. Can you get me? They're like, yeah, we have an ETF for that, you know, where you work for BlackRock and whatnot. And they're like, yeah, your money is safe. They're like, good, put $1 million in it. I don't care. And then the ETF price goes up and whatnot. So that's a massive adoption that's already happening in the baby boomer. Baby boomers are people who are 50 plus and stuff like that today, you know, older actually. So that's the mass adoption that's happening in that generation that we know that's the #1 financial product in America right now. Oh, sorry, there's a question here, then I'll take you, okay?
Quick question. With your PayPal background and with the conversation around fees that we're having, what do you think of the TransferWise sort of mission of like, you know, zero fee sort of transfers?
Man, you got to be a little careful when they say TransferWise, zero fees, and all the spreads. They charge money on the spreads. They're charging money somewhere on the back end. But yeah, TransferWise is great. I mean, again, they're pushing the envelope today. It's all about taking the customer away from, you know, the Stripes of the world, the PayPals of the world, and so forth. So it's like, what, just bring them over, right? It works great. TransferWise is not really that big in America. I mean, they're kind of like coming here and there, whatever. But you know, there's another big player in America. It's called Block. So Square Payments, you know, founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey. So he started that company, Cash App. It's called Cash App. So that tends to do a little bit of well. They have better volume transactions in terms of Venmo, which is part of PayPal and PayPal. So TransferWise not so much, but I think in Europe they do a good job. But eventually today they'll take a loss and they'll burn money because they have money in the bank, and they'll take a hit. But eventually it's not a sustainable model. This entire model works on fees, you know, basis points and stuff like that. So that's why it's traditional finance. We keep talking, guys. Traditional finance. No matter what they do, they will always go back to, you know, traditional finance. So, but DeFi changes that. Thank you. Great question. The last question. This is a phenomenal audience. I'm telling you, you guys are super engaged. You guys love it, and I'm loving the energy. So thank you so much. The last question.
The Bitcoin ETFs are kind of like the antithesis to what you guys are trying to do, since that cements the cryptocurrencies as almost like a security asset versus what you guys are trying to do, which is actually transact with the crypto, put it to work, right? But what interests me is what are you guys doing to combat that? And also, how did you guys actually manage for your success in Vietnam, for example?
Yeah, I don't think so. We're trying to combat anything. So we're trying to stay in our lane and do our thing. If I'm being truly honest with you, like that's maybe a bigger problem to solve for tomorrow, but not for today, right? I'm interested in solving problems for right now in real time. And then, yes, we're thinking about tomorrow. But I'm not worried about taking on the SEC and then, you know, figuring out, oh, my God, like you approved BlackRock. We're not going to. They're managing, what, trillions of dollars, right? So you're not going to win that battle right now. It takes time to do that. So that's great. I mean, if the BTC Bitcoin ETF is out there and people are buying and they're doing it, it is a security. It's legitimized. Like SEC blessed it. That's it. It's done. So that's why now people want to buy more Bitcoin, because they're like, oh, my God, it's legal? It's legal now, so I can go buy Bitcoin. So I think that was the main thing, at least in the U.S. I can tell you the U.S. mindset. They didn't want to get anything into because they're like, it's illegal, right? And this means nothing. But now once the SEC says that yes, it's something, then everyone wants a piece of the action. But today, my mission today at CrossFi and our mission today at CrossFi is really to put this crypto in hands of everyone, and you can use it, you know, through the network of which is the biggest network on the planet, which is Visa, to use it and just pay for daily goods. You know, by using your crypto. And without having a middleman, no banks involved, like literally no banks. That is one challenge that we wanted to solve, and we've basically proven it. So that's one mission. So, you know, Rome wasn't built in one day, so one stone at a time, right? And so basically that's what we're doing. So today, this is what we do.
Awesome.
Thank you. Time's up. No questions? Thank you. Thank you, guys. This has been amazing. Thank you so much. I hope you use the card. Thank you. I hope you use the card. You want a demo, come talk to us. We'll do a demo for you. I'll pay for your coffee.